Alright guys, I am finally back with another plan with me. It has been so freaking long, but I'm out of school now and have a little bit more free time, so I decided I would jump back into filming these again. Really quickly, I'm just showing you guys, I did move into a new bullet journal for the last half of 2020. I didn't start with July though for my monthly plan with, sections. I just started in August. I had enough room for July in my last bullet journal. So yeah, this is it for my migration. Just a couple simple spreads, just the basics. That's all I needed. And now we are going to jump into August. So I'm not gonna lie, I've been kind of in a rut in terms of themes for my bullet journal since I've gotten back into it. I did do an entire setup for June with a Planning with Kay sticker kit. I did film that if you guys would like me to upload it. I just never got around to it. But since I was kind of in a rut, I was like, let me just pick a random shape and then pick a color scheme, and that will be my theme, since I couldn't think of anything that was really speaking to me for this month. So the shape that I picked was diamonds, and then I let my friends pick my color scheme, and we ended up with a red orange color scheme. In hindsight, hear me out, this would have been cool if it was done in green, because then it would have been kind of Sims themed. If you're into the Sims game, green diamonds, that would be kind of cool. So think about that if you want to do this in your bullet journal. That would be kind of cool. So yeah, red and orange was my color and diamonds was my shape. You could do any shape, any colors you wanted to do. You could stick with one color only, but I wanted to have a color scheme and then just do many different shades of that color. So that's what I'm doing. I penciled pretty much all of these out. You'll see later in the video, some of the pages I do them on the spot, measuring out the diamonds, but I did plan a lot of this ahead of time because they take forever to measure out and draw them. So yeah, but it's kind of like making your own little coloring book and then getting to go back and color it in. So it was kind of fun, relaxing. So yeah, that is our theme. This is my cover page, and I always do a little something on the page next to the cover page. So here we are with our diamonds and our color scheme. Alright, so moving on to our monthly calendar. I've been playing around with different things since I've jumped back into my bullet journal, doing my normal stuff that I would usually do, doing things that I wouldn't normally do. So I'm still kind of figuring out what my groove is right now and how I want things to be. But for this month, I just went with a normal monthly calendar spread, decent size, so I have room to fit things. Not that I really have anything going on besides going to work and sitting at home because of coronavirus. So also you'll see I make some mistakes throughout this entire video. It happens to the best of us, so I just roll with the punches and try to fix them to the best of my abilities and just keep on trucking. So yeah, so on my monthly calendar page, I'm also gonna have a goals and to do section. I just wanted to keep it simple. And then after I fill all this in, you're gonna see that I'm gonna go through and add my diamonds. And this is one of the pages that I did, I measured them as I went and drew them as I went. Worked out pretty good, I think. And yeah, I like how it turned out. Also, you're gonna notice I'm skipping through a lot of the drawing because I just feel like watching me draw these diamonds is extremely repetitive. So if you see the video kind of jumping around, that would be why, because this took forever to film because of those diamonds, and I do not feel like making you guys watch all of that. Alright, so moving on, I'm making a really quick brain dump page. Super simple, just says brain dump. That's all you need. And then I'm putting some diamonds on there just to make sure it goes with the theme. It looks cute and there's plenty of room still to write on. And of course you can write over the shapes as well if you're writing like in a black pen or something like that. Alright, so now moving on to my habit tracker. If you've been following my bullet journaling journey for quite some time, you know how I feel about habit trackers. I feel like I make them and I don't use them. And so I go through these phases where I decide I'm going to put them in there and think I'm going to use them, and then I don't use them. So we're in that phase again, okay? We're going to try it out. We're going to see how it goes. I'm hoping that it will work out now that I have kind of a different schedule and everything with having no school to go back to since I graduated. I'm trying to like keep myself accountable to make sure that I'm doing things that I need to be doing. So we will see how that goes. I'll let you guys know in next month plan with me. There may be a habit tracker, there may not be. We will see. So the habits that I am tracking this month are working out, going outside. It's still summertime. I want to make sure I make time to go outside and like, walk around, do things, go to the beach, whatever. So working out, going outside, drinking water. It says ×2. That's because I have a giant hydro flask and I want to make sure that I drink at least 2 of them a day. I think I can do that. Sometimes I hit like way more than 2 and then sometimes I don't get to 2, so that's why I have that in there. And then the other habit I'm tracking is having no sweets for the day. And then if I read, I really have some goals to read some books this year and I've been slacking, so I'm going to try to make myself do my reading. And then also the last one is reading my Bible. So yeah, just a couple of habits. Didn't want to go crazy with, one of those giant habit trackers that have a gajillion habits in them. So yeah, now I'm just drawing on my diamonds. As you can see, I made some mistakes on these because I couldn't keep track of where my little markings were for where I needed to connect my corners of my diamonds. It's fine. It's not incredibly noticeable. I think it turned out all right in the end. You can't really tell. So yeah. Moving on to my budget spread. I haven't been doing a budget spread. I've mostly just been tracking it on online on the apps and stuff for my bank, but I also have these random sticky notes everywhere of things that I write down in regards to my money just to keep myself on track. So I decided I would put this back into my bullet journal spreads for the month. So it's really simple, just a place to track each paycheck that I get each week, and then a space for some of my bills, space for some of my goals, like how much money I want to save for the month or something like that. And then at the bottom is a little chart for my accounts, so my checking account, my savings account, my emergency fund, and my credit card. And I want to just track where I started at and then where I ended at, just so I can keep track of things, make sure I'm doing what I need to be doing. So super simple, easy. Didn't want to go crazy, and let's be honest, I'm too lazy to do a full-on expense tracker this month. I'm just not going to do that. So I just wanted it to be simple and easy to fill out and keep track of. Alright, so next is just, one of those cute little fun little pages that you do in your bullet journal. I always do one of these like right before I get into weekly spreads. They're just fun, they're cute to look at. A little motivational quote, of course, to try to make yourself do things. So yeah, just a simple little page. It's kind of like what I did when I set up my cover page, just a big coloring book basically. And yeah, so just watch me fill in some diamonds here. Alright, so now on to the very last spread, which is my weekly spread. I've never done a layout like this before, so I'm curious to see how it works out. But basically at the top is just a little dashboard, so it has a space for every day of the week, and then the top section is my schedule, so that's where I'd write what hours I'm working, and then if I had like a doctor's appointment or if I had something important to take care of at a certain time, that's kind of what would go there. And then the bottom section is for scheduling in my workouts, and then the rest of the spread is just a space for each day for me to write like a to-do list that I need to get done each day. Nothing crazy, nothing big. I'm working 40 hours a week, so on the days that I work, let's be honest, don't get much done. On the days I'm off, I try to make up for that. So yeah, nothing crazy here, and I'm just gonna finish filling it in with diamonds. Also, I apologize for how much the lighting changed in this video, guys. I filmed this for like almost 4 hours, and so it ended up going into the nighttime, and that is why the lighting has changed so many times over the course of this video. Alright, so now let's do a final little flip through. I think it turned out pretty good. The colors look actually significantly different on camera than they do in person. I'm not sure why. They look a lot more like fall colored on here than they do in person. So this would be kind of a fun color scheme to do for fall, I think, like reds and oranges and browns maybe. So yeah, this is the final flip through. Hopefully I actually use all the spreads I made. I have such a horrible habit of not actually using them. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Follow my Instagram so you can catch the rest of my weekly spreads that I make and anything else that I do in my bullet journal throughout the month. And I will see you guys in my next video. Hope you guys are staying safe with everything going on out in the world. And I'll see you in my next one. Peace.